Good morning. I'll now call to order the regular meeting of the Local Agency Formation Commission of Santa Cruz County. It is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025 at 9:01 a.m. And I will begin with the roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson,
Present.
Commissioner Roger Anderson,
I'm here.
Commissioner Joe Clark,
Here.
Commissioner Justin Cummings, Chair Manu Koenig,
Here.
Vice Chair Rochelle Lather, Commissioner Montesino,
Here, but I'm using this opportunity to use Zoom because I'm out of travel for work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Alternate Commissioner Lonnie Faulkner,
Here.
Alternate Commissioner Kimberly Serpa,
Present.
Alternate Commissioner John Hunt,
Present.
and Alternate Commissioner Fred Keeley. We have quorum, Chair.
Great, thank you. And just for clarification, do we need a vote on Mr. Montesino's AB 2449 request, or it's just cause?
The fact that he's working remotely due to he's traveling from work, it's in compliance with AB 2449. So I don't think the board needs to take any action. It fulfills that requirement.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Strong, just for clarification, AB 2449 allows travel for city or state business, just clarifying that Commissioner Montesino is traveling for those purposes.
Correct.
Thank you. And Chair, with that clarification, I agree it's a just cause and no vote by the commission is required.
All right, great. We will be taking a roll call vote though, as we proceed with the agenda as a result. I am going to move item 6A, the election results, to after agenda item number 2, so that we can have new commissioners vote on today's agenda, which has several recommended actions. And with that, we'll proceed with item 2, Executive Officer's message.
Thank you, Chair. I'll keep this brief. First is that, as the commission is aware, we are conducting this meeting under a hybrid approach, meaning our commission is going to be here in person, and members of the public have the option to join us either virtually or in person. Anyone that wants to address the commission on an agenda item have up to 3 minutes. We'll let them know when they have 1 minute left and when their time is up. For anybody joining us via Zoom that would like to make any comments, please click on the reactions tab and the raise hand icon, and that'll inform us that you'd like to speak. And again, this is something that we've been continuing for the last couple of years, so it's a common practice at this point, but I wanted to just for transparency for the public and to the commission. The other item that I wanted to briefly go over is your staff just came back from Southern California. We had a staff workshop that was hosted by the state organization, LAFCO. Almost 100 people attended that conference. Over 32 LAFCOs were present. Your staff was part of 2 of the 3 general sessions at this conference, so we were well represented. The last thing I wanted to inform the commission is that, as most of you know, LAFCO is in a transition period. There's some concerns from member LAFCOs of the value that the state organization brings, and whether or not they want to renew their memberships. So we have been working diligently to address the concerns of the member agencies. The former executive director of LAFCO, Pamela Miller, was brought back to help address these concerns. She recently developed a survey. That survey was sent out to the 58 LAFCOs, and she is requesting that not only staff complete that survey, but as well as commissioners. That way she gets a better understanding of, does the commissioners know what LAFCO is, what it brings to the table, and what are any areas of improvement? So that survey link, which it'll take you about 5-8 minutes to complete, I'll send it to you after this meeting, and if you can fill out that survey by the end of this month. But I'll send you an email with further information. But I want to bring this to the commission.
Is this an online survey?
It's an online survey, correct? Chair, that concludes my update. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you. Are there questions or comments from commissioners? Any comments from members of the public?
No, Chair.
All right. Then we will proceed with item 6A. As previously mentioned, this item has been moved up to ensure that the new commissioners can vote on today's agenda. This is Special Districts LAFCO seats runoff election results. The commission will consider ratifying the runoff election results for the Special District regular and alternate member seats on LAFCO. And we have a short presentation on this item.
Very short. I just wanted to congratulate the two appointed commissioners. Jim Anderson was reelected for the regular seat. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Lonnie Faulkner from Central Fire, who has been elected by her peers to be the alternate representative on LAFCO. So I just wanted to extend my congratulations to the two of them. Their terms officially started on Monday of this week. It's a 4-year term, so it'll extend until May 2029. So we'll have you for 4 years. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our former alternate commissioner, Ed Banks, who was on this commission for just about 6 years. I did not have time to do a resolution of appreciation due to the results and when the distribution was sent out, but I did want to take this opportunity to thank him for his dedicated service. But again, Chair, staff is recommending that you adopt the resolution that certifies the runoff elections. That way, Jim Anderson and Lonnie Faulkner could vote, because Rochelle Lather is not here today, so she's going to be pinch hitting for the rest of the meeting. Chair, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Executive Director Serrano. Other comments or questions? Or I want to congratulate both Commissioner Anderson and Commissioner Faulkner on the results of the election being elected to this board. Would either of you like to share any comments? Go ahead.
I'd just like to express my gratitude to all of the special districts who voted and appreciate the opportunity. I take this role very seriously. I think the role of LAFCO, both here locally and throughout California, is an integral role, and I'm very excited about this opportunity. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, all the special districts that voted for me. It was a different campaign than I've had in the last 19 years, but the outcome was good for both of us. So thank you, Lonnie, and thank you, special districts.
Great. Again, congratulations to you both. It'll be excellent to have you on this commission, given we have some very relevant topics for both of you about fire and the possibility for agency and district consolidation. And I'm sure that your input will be much appreciated both by this board and the public. If there's no other comments or questions from commissioners, do we have any public comment on this item?
No request at this time.
All right, then I'll return to the commission for a vote to ratify the results. Is there a motion?
I move the recommendation.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Roger Anderson and a second by Commissioner DeSerpa to ratify the election results. And can we please have a roll call vote, please?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Roger Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Joe Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner DeSerpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner,
Aye.
Commissioner Montesino,
Aye.
Chair Koenig.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Great. Those election results are ratified. Congratulations again to Commissioner Anderson and Commissioner Faulkner. We will now proceed with item number 3, adoption of minutes.
I'll move approval of the minutes of our last meeting.
Great.
I'll second.
Great. That's the March 5th meeting. We have a motion by Commissioner Jim Anderson, a second by Commissioner Lonnie Faulkner. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, or sorry, we have a roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Roger Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner DeSerpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner,
Aye.
Commissioner Montesino,
Yes.
Chair Koenig.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Great. Minutes from March 5th are hereby adopted. Approved.
One point of order.
Yeah.
Some of the people voting were not at the last meeting, and so I think abstention is probably the better way of dealing.
Sure,
with it.
sure. Well, of course, that was one possible way to go. There's actually nothing, I believe, that prevents Commissioner from approving the minutes. And my memory serves me correctly. I think that maybe you were attending in the audience at that time, Commissioner Faulkner, or in any case, yes, there's nothing
It's not a big deal, but
Yeah.
I just, it's kind of like to have people voting on the minutes if we're actually here.
Fair enough. Yes, thank you for the point.
Just for staff's comments on that, I agree with the chair. So the commission's voting on this particular document. And so that's something that you have reviewed and taking action on. So the commissioners have the right or the opportunity to abstain on any agenda items. But there is no requirement for them to actually be there for the minutes. But I do understand your comments as well, Commissioner.
All right.
All right, we'll now proceed with item 4, oral communications. This is an opportunity for the public to provide comments on items that are not on today's agenda to the commission. Do we have anyone here in the chambers that wishes to make a public comment? Seeing none. And is there anyone online?
We do have someone online, so we're going to ask them to unmute their microphone.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can.
Thank you. I want to first say that I attended a public meeting with the Pajaro Valley Fire District on April 15th at the Salsa Puedes Community Center. It was their work to conduct public outreach with their constituents about the proposed dissolution of the fire district. There were quite a few people there. I attended, but what I was really surprised to see is that there was absolutely no information presented about the costs involved in consolidating with CSA 48. There was a lot of discussion about whether their current assessments would be still assessed and transferred over to Santa Cruz County Fire, but when asked how much, Mr. Beaton from General Services was there, and when he was asked how much does it cost in CSA 48, he could not give any information at all. And this is important because CSA 48 2020, the second assessment, assesses land, and that was a big piece of contention why the last Prop 218 measure in Pajaro Valley Fire failed. So I did send information afterwards to the Chair Martone and Commission and Director Delamonica to share with their board and constituents. I don't know if they did that at their April 24th meeting when they did indeed sign. I believe they did. I wasn't able to attend it. A resolution to dissolve. I understand that from Director Serrano, I did submit late
1 minute left.
correspondence that, thank you, that they have submitted an application for reorganization. So this is a big concern to me. I want to move on that Soquel Creek Water District, last night the board approved an MOI with San Andreas Water Mutual and piggybacking on their work with Renaissance High to extend the supply line. That will be an ESA coming before you, I believe. April 16th, the County Water Advisory Commission held a meeting for small water company managers, operators regarding consolidation. It was well attended and a lot of concern about the state's perceived pressure to consolidate. Finally, I want to just say that I think that LAFCO needs to look at the Watsonville Airport funding and approach, if possible, funding countywide for the Watsonville Municipal Airport.
And
I'm
time is up,
probably
Ms.
out
Becky.
of time.
Yes,
Thank you
thank you.
very much.
Are there any other folks who wish to comment online?
No, Chair.
All right, then we'll proceed with item 5, public hearings. And we'll begin with item 5A, comprehensive sanitation service and sphere review. The commission will consider the countywide report, which analyzed the 10 sanitation districts in Santa Cruz County. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, just a brief staff report. We were scheduled to present this robust report to the commission this morning. However, because of the extensive analysis that's provided in the report, as well as staff's recommendations and findings. The county, which operates 8 of those 10 districts, requested for a little bit more time to verify that our analysis was accurate, particularly the financial portions of the agencies. As you know, LAFCO does a deep dive on the financial health of these districts. We look at the last 5 to 6 years. That way we can determine, how well they're doing financially. So that is a particular area of the report. They just want to verify that the numbers are correct. Therefore, staff is recommending that this commission defer review and action of this report and move this item to our June meeting. That will give us a couple more weeks to review the report. Again, the county staff did not have any opposition towards our findings and recommendations, but again, they just wanted more time to verify the actual data that was used to conduct our review of their financials. Therefore, Chair, staff's recommending that we defer action to our June meeting. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Executive Director Serrano. Are there questions or comments from commissioners? All right, seeing none, any member of the public wish to comment on this item?
We do have one request from Ms. Becky Siminer. We're going to ask her to unmute herself.
This is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the care that is being given this report to ensure that it is accurate and complete information. Mr. Serrano's reports are always excellent, and I really applaud him working with the county to make sure that everything is in the report is accurate and will serve everyone to the best advantage. I just want to say that because I attend County Board of Supervisor meetings, I have heard CSA 20 residents complaining that this is for the Trestle Beach Sanitation District, that their rates are incredibly high. And it's a relatively small number of people, I believe, but I just want to preface what's coming in June with what I have heard, and perhaps the Supervisor Koenig has been there too, and he's heard this from them as their assessments have gone up, and it's been a real hardship for many of the people there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Steinbruner.
No other requests, Chair.
All right, I'll return it to the Commission for action. We just need, I believe, a motion to postpone this report until our June meeting.
I'll move recommended action.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jim Anderson, second by Commissioner DeSerpa to postpone the report until our June meeting. Any further discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Roger Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner DeSerpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner,
Aye.
Commissioner Montesino,
Yes.
Chair Koenig.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, we look forward to receiving that report at our June meeting. We'll now proceed with item 5B, the final budget for fiscal year 25-26. The Commission will consider the adoption of a final budget for the upcoming year. Do we have a short presentation on this?
Very short, Chair. At our last meeting, we presented the draft budget. The Commission approved the draft budget and directed staff to share that financial information to our funding agencies. As the Commission knows, the county, the 4 cities, and our 20 independent special districts fund our organization. They each pay a third. None of the funding agencies provided comments or concerns about the proposed allocation amount. As you know, this is the first time in 3 years that we had to increase the total apportionments. But again, I think with the relationship that we have built with our funding agencies and the added value that we've been doing these last couple of years, I think that's one of the reasons why we didn't get any type of pushback. Therefore, staff is recommending that the Commission adopt the final budget, which is exactly the same as what we discussed and reviewed at our last meeting, which was the draft budget. So again, our proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26 will be just under $800,000. It's lean and mean, but it's enough for us to be continue our productivity for the upcoming fiscal year. So, Chair, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there comments or questions from commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Jim Anderson.
You also provided a chart of the side fund for PERS. And I just want to note that that's not without its cost. It's at 6.8% interest. And a few years ago, it was at 7.5%. And as salaries rise, that is going to affect that amount. And 6.8 is the current. There's nothing to say that it can increase over those years. And so it's quite a substantial obligation that we have there. So I've been to many PERS things, and the one thing that's always stuck with me is the actuarial from PERS said, when we're not making it's their interest on there. When we're not making it, there's two ways we get that. We get it from you, the employer, and you, the employee. And so I just want everybody to be cognizant of that number and how it can escalate over time. It's one of the things within PERS that causes everybody the most grief, because you pay it off and before you know it, you have another one.
Right.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes,
Commissioner.
being a member of CalPERS, do I need to recuse myself from this?
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Jim Anderson. Or sorry, Roger Anderson.
Just want to echo what Jim Anderson said. This is a big commitment we have. And although I think it's too late to deal with it this year, I would like to see next year's budget present a payment on the 10-year payoff of the side fund. And I agree with Mr. Anderson that this is likely to become even larger in the future, but at least let's chip away at a little bit faster rate this time. So starting next year.
Yeah, yes, and I'm glad both Commissioner Anderson and Roger Anderson brought this up. This is something that was requested from the commission at the last meeting. It shows the payment schedule to pay off our pension obligations. And yes, for the last couple of years, I believe the last 4 years, we have been providing payments beyond the minimum amount. So we've been following that 10-year schedule. So if we continue that practice, we should be eliminate or significantly reduce this amount by the year 2032, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm a little confused because in your report, I thought you said we would pay off at our present rate in 2044 or something like that.
Yeah, 2032. That's again under the CalPERS actuarial reports. It identifies what our minimum payment should be, and then it also gives us options to pay a little bit more. And we've been doing that practice. Again, you mentioned the side fund that has been blended in with our total contribution amount. So as part of that merger, your staff has been as part of the budget that's being adopted, we always pay a little bit more, and we're trying to follow that 10-year schedule amount. That way we can bring this amount down.
So we presently are on the 10-year payoff.
Presently, we are on the 10-year plan.
Then my comments are irrelevant.
Yeah, but I think it's staff's responsibility to articulate that and inform the commission that we've been doing that. But yes, we're on that schedule.
If I may, just for historical, once upon a time, a few years, I recommended that we look for another funding source at a lower rate, and we weren't really successful at that. I mean, we had one offer. I think that at that time, we reached out to the city of Santa Cruz, which was willing to finance it at a much lower rate than it was, but they wanted it paid off in 3 years. So that was really kind of the same thing. It didn't give us any financial advantage. So.
Thank you. Other comments or questions?
I have a question.
Faulkner?
Thank you. Thank you for this report and the CalPERS. I'm actually going to abstain from the vote, but I do have a question. And appreciated the comparison of the minimum payment, 10-year and 5-year for payoff. I think this is a conservative approach and appreciated with the 10-year payoff. The question I have is in terms of the snapshot in time. So I'm assuming that that's taking salaries and employment to the current state. So we're not looking forward. We don't know how long a person's going to remain.
Exactly. So right now, there's a number of factors that contribute to that amount. Yes, you're correct. It's our current salaries. It's past retirees that are currently collecting. So We don't know how long we're going to be here. We're hoping, right until the sunset, but we just don't know the future. So this is a snapshot of how much we are, what our obligation is at this point.
Thank you very much.
One other question about that. It's kind of a snapshot in time, but it's a year behind. They're not, that isn't what you owe today. That's what you owe the last time they calculated.
Correct. And it's like a year off. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I guess I'm just pointing out that it's really complicated
Moving target.
and it's not designed for the user. It's for the recipients at the end.
Thank you.
Can I ask a point of order question?
Sure.
Chair. So many of us up here are CalPERS members. Does that really preclude us from voting on this issue?
I'll defer to our legal counsel,
I'm
but
not sure you would have a quorum vote.
But
honestly.
It does not. Commissioners can vote even if they're members of PERS on this item.
Great, thank you.
But we'll give the commission's discretion. So if you decide to abstain, that's your right to do so. But as legal counsel mentioned, and I concur, you don't have, it's not a conflict, and you can vote if you'd like to.
All right. Are there any comments from members of the public on this item?
No, Chair.
All right, then I'll return it to the commission for action.
Move the budget.
I'll second it.
All right, motion by Commissioner Roger Anderson, second by Commissioner Jim Anderson to approve the final budget for fiscal year 25-26.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Roger Anderson,
Here.
Commissioner
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner DeSerpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner,
Abstain.
Commissioner Montesino,
Aye.
Chair Koenig.
Aye.
Motion passes with one abstention.
Thank you very much. The fiscal year 25-26 budget being adopted. We'll now proceed with item 6. And since we already did item 6A, we'll move on to 6B, Fire Consolidation Feasibility Study, Memorandum of Understanding. The commission will consider partnering with the City of Santa Cruz, Central Fire District, and Scotts Valley Fire Protection District to explore the benefits and constraints from a consolidation and/or reorganization effort. Do we have a presentation on this item?
Yes, Chair. I'll try to keep this brief. And you alluded to the earlier this morning of fire-related projects that are going to be coming sooner rather than later. And as we know, after 2020, when we did the Central Aptosa Selva consolidation, that C word, consolidation, is no longer a bad word in the fire world. It's something that is definitely an option for special districts. And we've seen that occur these last couple of years. We just talked about PV Fire and their consideration of merging with CSA 48. And for the last year or so, your staff has been part of a stakeholder group with representatives from the City of Santa Cruz, Central Fire, Scotts Valley Fire more recently, and ourselves to discuss, are there any opportunities to share services? And the answer is yes, but to what degree? And how far can we go with this? Is consolidation, does it make sense? Involving the 3 agencies or maybe just 2 of them. So at this point, we decided that it would benefit us to hire an outside consultant to do a fiscal analysis to determine whether or not any type of change of organization would benefit not only the agencies, but the constituents. That's the whole point of this. What's best for the residents? How can we provide the best level of service to them? So that's the reason why the agencies have decided to adopt an MOU. It's my understanding that the City of Santa Cruz adopted this MOU earlier in early April. Central Fire is going to consider this MOU during their meeting tomorrow. Scotts Valley Fire will consider this MOU next week, and we're presenting this to the commission today for approval. This just allows us to continue working with those agencies. One thing that the agencies are looking at is sharing costs. So under this MOU, the 3 fire agencies have agreed that they're going to share the costs equally. But they also have language in that MOU saying, hey, LAFCO, if you're participating, can you also pitch in? But that is kind of open-ended. So we're not going to pay an equal share. But when we find out who is the most qualified consultant and how much that's going to cost to complete that study, we'll bring that information to this commission. And then the board will determine whether or not we want to contribute financially to that exercise. So Chair, staff is recommending that this commission approve the MOU, allowing your staff to continue coordinating with those agencies. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Executive Director Serrano. Are there questions from commissioners?
I have questions.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Faulkner.
Thank you. On page 73, there's language that says potential benefits and disadvantages to the public of consolidation. And I just want to clarify in the term consolidation here, is it referring to very specifically merging of agencies or the various possible levels of sharing and consolidation? So will they be looking at all levels or just merging?
Great question, Commissioner Faulkner. So yes, so one of the components is going to be reviewing the benefits and constraints of consolidation. Under LAFCO's state law, consolidation means taking two similar agencies and merging them together to form a new one. So that's exactly what happened with Central Fire and Aptos Selva. We took two existing fire districts and we created a brand new one. That has some pros and cons to it. So as part of this analysis, we'll also look at other changes of organization, like a reorganization, like what PV Fire is requesting. They will dissolve themselves, so that district will go away, and the responsibility will be shifted over to CSA 48. So that's something that we're also going to explore. Maybe for hypothetically, Central Fire would be the successor agency, and Scotts Valley Fire would be dissolved, and Central Fire would annex that area. That's a reorganization. So that's not a consolidation because we're not creating a new district. We're taking an existing one and expanding it. So there's different levels that we're going to look at. The language in the MOU specifies consolidation, but I just want to clarify that the study will look at all different options.
Thank you. And in terms of the cost, I think it indicated up to 60,000 potentially. Is that what you're targeting?
These last couple of years, we've seen consultants charge around $40,000 to $60,000 for these types of evaluations. So that's why we're guesstimating it's going to cost around $60,000.
Thank you. And so I have a question about, I think AP Triton was used in the past as one of these agencies that does the study analysis. From what I understand, the city of Santa Cruz has a study that it's called a standard of care that was initiated. Has that study been completed, and do we have results from that?
Yes. So I'll answer that two-part question. So the first one is the city of Santa Cruz hired, I believe, AP Triton to conduct a standard of coverage for pretty much looking at their call data and seeing where is the hotspots in their cities, what type of calls are they getting, are they medical related, fire related, et cetera. It's my understanding that that report should be done sometime this year, but I don't have the specific date on that. But I believe AP Triton was hired to complete that report. Once that report was done or getting close to being completed, that's why we felt it's timely for us to now work on the RFP to hire an outside consultant to do this feasibility study. Going back to your first question about AP Triton, yes, LAFCO did hire AP Triton a couple of years ago, and that was really what catapulted the discussion about converting CSA 48 from a dependent special district into an independent fire protection district. That AP Triton report really allowed us, it was a stepping stone for us to have a conversation with the county, which those discussions are still ongoing. Your staff will be providing a more detailed update on that conversion or that formation of a new fire protection district using CSA 48 as a model. That's going to be presented to the commission in June. I'll be providing more information about that effort. As long story short, staff is working with the county and CAL FIRE to develop a transition plan to show if we were to convert CSA 48 into an independent fire district, this is how it will look. This is how the governance is going to be, the number of board of directors. This is the financial projections for that agency, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that we're still working on. We're hoping to present that to the commission in the summertime. But again, I'll provide a more detailed update to the commission in June. So hopefully that answered your questions.
Thank you. Just to clarify, though, that's a separate study. The CSA 48 is a separate study from the standard of care.
That is correct.
Okay.
So you can see that there's a lot of action happening in the fire world, and there's different studies being conducted at the same time.
Correct. And I think where I'm going with the standard of care study, my question where I'm leading to is if the coverage of the standard of care study overlaps the same questions that are going to be asked with the MOU study that we're going to be investigating. And if we choose to go with AP Triton, what is the cost that has been invested in that current study? Should there be, duplicate payment, sharing of those expenses across the studies? Do you understand where I'm going with that?
Right. And that's yet to be determined. So this would be a completely different process. And if the group decides that AP Triton is the most qualified, I could see that there could be potential cost savings because a lot of their analysis has already been conducted, but that's yet to be determined. It's an unknown for staff at this point to give you some type of numbers or figures at this time.
Okay. And you said summer is when we anticipate the standard of care study to be completed as well.
For the standard of care that the city is working on, I don't know. I think it's going to be completed sometime this year. The transition plan that your staff is working on in correlations with the county and CAL FIRE, that's something that we're hoping to get completed in the summertime. So 2 different studies that we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Commissioner Jim Anderson, and then
I was just going to say that originally the APCOS Central thing started out as a shared services. They were sharing inspections and different things, and then it transitioned to the other APCOS at the time, and Central both initiated their own fire studies. APCOS was more like a financial study to see where they were at, and then I believe the Central was more comprehensive in financial and service levels and stuff. So part of the cost is going to depend on how broad you want them to look at, because the broader, the more institutions, the more time and everything. And just as historical, the timeline that we had from AC with Trident was it ran over by quite a few months.
Yes, almost a year.
A year, yeah. So.
thank you for the history. To Roger Anderson.
Yeah, just similar questions. I'm interested in, first of all, the cost. And it's not entirely clear from what I've read whether LAFCO is going to share equally in those costs of the consultant. Second thing is, I assume there'll be additional tasks that you and Francisco will do. And I assume you can do that with your existing resources, but I just wanted to be sure. And then the other thing is that the general timeline, how long this is likely to take under the best circumstances.
Right.
And whether you'll provide regular reports to the commission about this.
Yes. So great questions. The first part is the cost. Let's assume that it's going to be $60,000. The 3 agencies, the city of Santa Cruz, Central, and Scotts Valley, have agreed to pay the bulk of that cost. They'll equally share that cost. In addition to that, they're hoping that LAFCO can contribute something just to make it a little bit easier for them. That is completely up to this commission of how much, if at all, we want to contribute financially. We do, as of right now, in our professional services bucket in our budget, we have around almost $30,000 left. So hypothetically, this commission can say we want to earmark $10,000 to contribute to this feasibility study. This is a similar practice that we've done historically, and Commissioner Jim Anderson has alluded to it. Back in 2018, we did a feasibility study with Central and Aptos La Selva, and we all paid an equal share of that cost, and that led to the fire consolidations. It took a couple of years, but that report really was the vehicle that had those discussions. So that's something that this commission can determine that if they want to contribute. That once we figure out what the actual cost will be, we'll bring it to the commission. We'll let you know how much each agency is going to contribute and whether or not LAFCO can also provide some type of financial assistance. In regards to our other efforts with the other fire projects, Francisco and I have been able to manage all our projects We keep moving everything forward. We're really good at juggling multiple balls at the same time. So I have no doubt that we can continue moving that transition plan as well as contributing our time to these other projects at the same time. No problem with that. The third question that you had about updates, and yes, that's something that your staff, now that things are moving forward, I think it's appropriate for staff to provide periodic updates to this commission on not only what we're doing with CSA 48 or this effort with these 3 agencies or with PV Fire. That's something that I think going forward, we'll be giving you regular updates. That way the commission is informed throughout the whole process.
Thank you.
And obviously by approving the MOU today, the MOU states, as you explained, Executive Director Serrano, that the cost will be shared by the 3 fire agencies. And so we're not making any financial commitment with the vote today.
Correct.
Mr. Jim Anderson.
We had similar debate over the city of Capitola a couple years ago about contributing for one of their studies, and I don't remember the outcome that we decided on that.
Yes, so we did a service review for the city of Capitola back in 2022, and one of our recommendations was for the city to look at their sphere and develop some type of annexation plan. We deferred to them on the level of detail that they wanted to conduct that plan. The city decided to hire an outside consultant to look at their sphere, and the city came and requested the financial assistance. Again, this commission has done that in the past. It's case by case. My understanding that the commission approved contributing, I believe it was either $5,000 or $10,000, or is that 15? 15. That makes sense. $15,000, which was within our professional services budget line item. So that was an appropriate allocation. And this commission, as you mentioned, that item was brought to the commission. We discussed it, and the commission voted on $15,000 contributing to that study.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there other comments or questions?
I guess I have one more question, just again, back to the AP Triton question and the timeline and the overtime that they've been running with the current study. Is there language or methodologies to help them get on track if we choose to go with AP Triton in the future?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question about AP Triton.
I understand that the study is running behind schedule, considerably behind schedule, as Mr. Anderson mentioned, as Commissioner Anderson mentioned.
Yes, when we hired AP Triton a couple of years ago, it was supposed to be completed in 2023, but then they requested extensions. Long story short, it took them towards 2024 to actually complete that study. That study has been completed, and that has allowed us to have those discussions with CAL FIRE and the county about converting CSA 48 into independent fire district. So that report was delayed, but eventually was presented to this commission and it was adopted, and it was the vehicle that allowed us to continue that conversation with the county.
I apologize. I know it's confusing because we have so many studies
Yes.
going. I was referring to the standard of care study.
Oh,
by
that
the
one, I
city of
don't
Santa
know
Cruz.
if it's on target with the timeline or if it's delayed. That I would have to coordinate with the city and see what the status is. But what I will do is, as part of the update in June, I'll include an update on that report as well.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take it out to the public. Are there any public comments on this item?
There is one request from Ms. Becky Steinbrenner.
Go ahead, Becky.
Hello, this is Becky Steinbruner. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for this interesting discussion. I want to point out that neither Central nor Scotts Valley Fire District boards have approved this action yet. So we'll look forward to hearing from them, maybe at the next LAFCO meeting. I also want to say that any study with AP Triton needs to have very distinct descriptions of what you want them to do. Because when CSA 48, County Fire, asked AP Triton to piggyback with the still pending AP Triton LAFCO study of asking for a fire master plan, that's not what we got, not at all. So be very, very clear what they are to do. I also want to know if Mr. Don Jarvis is going to be the professional expert, helping shepherd this along. And if he is available and if the money in LAFCO's budget is sufficient for his services. I want to say that I am aware that Scotts Valley and Central are already sharing services with Chief Aaron Collins stepping in to act as fire marshal upon Mr. Mike DeMars, Fire Marshal DeMars' retirement. And I think that is working well. However, I believe that she and I'm not sure about the plan check status of what is happening. Central has hired an outside agency. I'm not sure about Scotts Valley, but now with the state's push to have 30-day approvals of permits, building permits coming in, streamlined Protection Act is Permitting Act is pushing things very quickly. These consolidations have a lot to resolve. The benefit differences between Aptos La Selva and Central required an act of Supervisor Laird to help resolve. So they're not always so simple. And I also wonder how the ISO ratings issues, there are differences among the departments, how that will be addressed. I'm probably out of time.
Thank
But
you, Ms. Pino.
Thank you. I look forward to the AP Triton report coming out in June, as well as information about the one the city is doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No other requests.
All right, I'll return to the commission for action. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion for the recommended actions from Commissioner DeSerpa, and the second was Commissioner Clark. A roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Jim Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Roger Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Clark.
Aye.
Commissioner DeSerpa.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Commissioner Montesino.
Aye.
Chair Koenig.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, the draft MOU is approved and staff is authorized to partner on the study.
Thank you.
We will now proceed with item 6C, which is a legislative update. The commission will receive a status update on the current legislative session and activities involving legislation of LAFCO interest.
Thank you, Chair. These next couple items are going to be the lightning round, so they're going to be pretty quick, and I'll defer to our analysts to go over the legislative update.
Thank you, Mr. Executive Officer, Chair. This is just a brief update. There's no action required from the commission at this point, but just to give you an update that your staff, along with Cal LAFCO staff, has been compiling, monitoring, tracking proposed bills that are of LAFCO related interest. Currently, the reason that there is still no action required is because the bills are still going through their process. They're being vetted, they're being defined, some are being moved forward, some are going back. So we're giving the process time to just work itself out. But just be aware that the commission will have an opportunity to weigh in on bills that Cal LAFCO or your staff considers to be of importance. And like I said, we'll give you enough time to consider either a support or opposed position on any of these potential bills that move up the priority list. So that's just a quick update for your benefit. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're here to answer questions.
Thank you. Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Anderson?
Maybe Mr. Serrano can answer this. But I'm curious with the chaos in Cal LAFCO board, whether the Ledge Committee is working again. And if there's any pathway that they are actually taking a stand on some of this legislation.
Great question. So yes, the legislative committee, which was previously disbanded for a quick moment in time, it's back. It's met a few times. Your staff has been participating in those committee meetings. And yes, they are monitoring a number of bills similar to the ones that you see on your screen, and that's also in your agenda packet. And similar to what Francisco mentioned, it's premature for them to take a position, but they're monitoring a number of bills. And we are also looking to see whether or not they'll take action or take official positions. That way, at our next meeting, if Cal LAFCO does take a position, then we will present that to the commission. So to answer your question, yes, the legislative committee is back. It's operating. It's monitoring these bills, and they're being proactive at this point. So they're going in the right direction.
I'm very pleased you're presenting this data to us.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Any comments from members of the public?
We do have one request from Ms. Becky Steinbrenner. So we're going to ask her to unmute her microphone.
Thank you. This is Becky Steinbrunner. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for this information. Regarding SB 5 and the Williams Act, it is my understanding that Santa Cruz County pulled out of the Williams Act a few years ago. I remember hearing the Board of Supervisors talking about that. Can you confirm that? And also, I want to just suggest that the commissioners subscribe to the Rural County Representatives of California free newsletter. They discuss many of these same things and have a very active legislative proponent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
you.
Becky.
Staff have any additional information about the Williams Act or how that might be relevant for the commission?
I would have to defer to the county. I'm not sure if they didn't go away from the Williams Act. I just don't have that information.
Okay.
I can't speak on behalf of the county.
Can't say I have that information at the tip of my fingers either. All right, there's no action required on this, so we will move on with item 6D, comprehensive quarterly report, third quarter, fiscal year 24-25. The commission will receive an update on active proposals, upcoming service reviews, latest budgetary performance, and other staff activities.
Great. That'll be me again, Chair. Thank you. I'm just giving you the greatest hits. If you'd like more information, we have more details in the packet. But number one, we'll start off with active applications. As of March 31st, Santa Cruz LAFCO had 2 active applications, but as of last week, we have 3 with the one submitted by Pajaro Valley Fire Protection District. Number 2, in the report, you will also find a summary of the 5 municipal service reviews the commission will consider this year. In June, as you heard earlier, you will consider the Comprehensive Sanitation Service and Sphere Review. And in August, the Pajaro Valley Public Cemetery District. Number 3, we just want to let the commission know that as of March 31st, Santa Cruz LAFCO has incurred 51% of its estimated cost, which is great. Between the months of January and March of 2025, LAFCO staff participated or attended 38 meetings with partner agencies or members of the public. Meetings to highlight one that we had with CSDA, which they're looking to establish a local chapter, which was attended by Commissioner Jim Anderson and Vice Chair Lather. We had a meeting with State Senator John Laird about potential future legislation. And the ongoing discussions that the executive officer talked about regarding CSA 48 and the MOU with the city of Santa Cruz, Scotts Valley Fire Protection, and Central Fire. And finally, we just want to let the commission know that Santa Cruz LAFCO has provided 12 hours of administrative support to Monterey LAFCO. That's been going great. And so far, so good with that one. Chair, this concludes my report. Again, this is an informational item only, does not require action, and we are happy to answer any questions that you may have. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much. Comments or questions from commissioners?
Just for the record, I was a attendee at that CSDA meeting as well.
Great. Thank you. Are there any members of the public that wish to comment on this item?
No requests at this time.
All right, again, this is just an informational item, so we will move on to item 7, written correspondence.
Yes, Chair, just briefly, and this was discussed earlier. Don Jarvis, he's the former fire chief for a number of other fire districts, including Aptaso Selva, when that fire consolidation occurred. He was hired by this commission back in 2022 to be our fire consultant. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. He has decided to resign as our fire consultant. Primarily, there is a conflict that he's experiencing with the PB Fire reorganization. He is a constituent of PB Fire, so he felt that it was best not to have his comments conflict with LAFCO's unbiased position on any changes of organization. Excuse me. So we did receive a letter of resignation from Mr. Jarvis. So I wanted to bring this to the commission's attention. No action is required. If we decide to bring him back, that will require a new contract. Chair, that concludes my update. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I'll get a glass of water.
Any comments or questions from commissioners? All right, thank you.
Chair, we do have a request from the public.
All right, go ahead.
Ms. Becky, you've been asked to be unmuted.
Thank you. This is Becky Steinbrunner. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can.
Thank you. I'm really sorry to see this. Mr. Jarvis is excellent, but I do appreciate that he and LAFCO feel there could be a conflict of interest because in his work with the Pajaro Valley potential reorganization. How will LAFCO fill this position with all of this work on the horizon regarding reorganizations, consolidations? And I'm very concerned. Who will fill in for this, because this will be imperative to have someone that is familiar with the local jurisdictions and experienced in this kind of work. So I would like to ask that this come before the commission in June. It will be nicely timed with the rollout of the AP Triton study, and if there will be a RFQ or something like that put out to members of the community or the region to step in and become the professional expert to assist LAFCO in the impending reorganization work for fire districts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Steinbrenner.
Thank you, Ms. Becky. The only comment I would have is that I am more than confident on your staff to be able to complete any of these fire-related projects, whether it's fire, water. You have a competent staff that can complete this with or without outside consultant. As a reminder, that Centro Aptos La Selva, you only had one staff member, and we were able to complete that behemoth of a project. So your staff is capable. It was great to have a former fire chief as part of the team. That definitely helped. But we also had help from our commissioners. Jim Anderson, he played a key role in the Branson 40 fire reorganization. We can continue that practice of having commissioners also help us when needed on these projects, not limited to fire protection. So that's something that, yes, it's sad to see Don go, but your staff is more than capable to move these projects forward. But again, I'll provide a more detailed update to the commission in June.
All right, thank you. And of course, we just approved a draft MOU looking for outside consultant services about fire consolidation. And of course, as you mentioned, we have commissioners, and if needed, this doesn't preclude us from getting additional assistance in the future.
Correct.
All right, I'll proceed with item 8, press articles.
Chair, no presentations. These are just articles that we felt may be of interest of the commission, but no action is required.
Okay. Thank you. If there's no comments on the press articles, is there any commissioners' business? An opportunity for commissioners to comment briefly on issues not listed on the agenda. Okay. Commissioner Faulkner.
I can just note, I don't know if it's specifically relevant, but had the opportunity to attend both the FDAC meeting, which is the Fire Districts of California meeting this month in April, as well as the CSDA, the Special Districts training. apologize for, and looking forward to legislative days in Sacramento as well in May.
And Chair, I just completely forgot to bring this up, so I'll bring it up now. I did want to introduce our other new commissioner, Joe Clark from the city of Capitola. So it's great to have you here. And it's great to see some new faces on this commission and having just other forms of local leaders on this board. So I just wanted to extend my appreciation to Chair Clark.
Thank you.
Yes, pleasure to have you here.
It's great to be here.
All right, there's no further comments. Then we'll proceed with adjournment. The LAFCO's next regular meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 4th, 2025 at 9 a.m. We are adjourned.
For that 10 a.m. on the dot.
Good thing you didn't say old faces. I could have taken offense to that.